Is the ASUS ROG Ally X worth it? Oh.
Shots fired already?
Oh.
Is it worth it? £800, Andy. £800.
I know. 800 quid.
For us, in the console gaming space, this is as expensive as it gets.
Oh, this is like buying 2 Series X's.
Yeah.
You could literally get 2 of them.
I'm finding it incredibly hard to answer that question, is it worth it? But I've spent less time with it than you have.
Yes, true.
So I'm still that kind of fresh to it. You're like chomping at the bit. So much so that podcast listeners will know you may have even sold a Steam Deck for it.
Oh, possibly. Maybe.
Or a piece, or your laptop.
Yeah, no. it's not clickbait at all. It's not clickbait.
So, is it worth it? I mean, is it?
Well, I've actually put a pre-order in now already.
You've done it?
I've done it.
Wow, okay.
It's in the bag, man. So
let me guess, you used all that ASUS bag that they sent you.
Oh yeah. They're just giving us one for free, so that's what I'm talking about.
I did actually ask them directly. For those of you that keep saying that we're sponsored by ASUS, we're not.
No, we're not.
We did review it pre-release, and then I asked them, could you let us keep it? And they just said no. Right.
Well,
no.
We actually said, can we have a discount code to buy some?
Yes.
Because we both wanted one. And they said, no, we don't do that.
So you obviously personally think it's worth it, so much so that you've sold stuff and gone and put a pre-order in and dropped £800 on this piece of handheld gaming hardware. It still kind of blows my mind. But then
it's a lot.
What it's capable of also blows my mind.
Absolutely.
I think really we need to do like the no's and the yeses, why it's not worth it, and then why it is worth it. So start with why it's not worth it.
Why
because
it's
there are some
not
reasons.
There's a lot of reasons, to be honest. I think it's a very sort of niche market as to who should actually buy this. Realistically, most people probably won't and probably shouldn't, because let's look at the Steam Deck. Let's say we're going from someone that's owning a Steam Deck already, then it really depends, because most people are full on, I love Steam Deck, and I get it. This is the thing, whoever's someone commented and goes, it's really funny how you've been Steam Deck all this and all that, and you hated on the original Ally, and now you're changing your tune. Yeah, things change. All of those
things are right.
yeah, all of those things are right, but the thing is I'm not against the Steam Deck at all. I love the Steam Deck and what it does. It's the Nintendo Switch of the PC world.
We've said that, didn't we? It's the accessible part of the PC world.
Yeah, it's the easy access for anybody. But there's limitations, so you probably got your Steam Deck and have no problem with it, but there might be some that do have a problem.
Yeah, I think, to be fair though, I think in the reasons why it's not worth it, I think for the majority of people, if you already own a Steam Deck or the Steam Deck OLED, if you've got that in the last 6 months or so, it's probably not worth jumping into this yet. It's probably too soon for you to upgrade. You're probably still in that honeymoon period, still enjoying all the great stuff that's there with the Steam Deck, and for certain there definitely is.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think the other one, we got this leveled at us quite a lot with the review we did. We never experienced the ROG Ally, the original version.
No, we didn't.
So we had no way of comparing it, and people kept asking us to compare it. We got no way of doing it. We weren't sent the original, that we did ask, but they wouldn't send it. We never owned it. So we looked at the Ally X on its own.
Yes.
But from what I've seen and from what I can gather, if you've got the original Ally, it's probably not worth upgrading to it.
Absolutely, again, because it really depends what your use case is. I would say most people are probably sat at home playing it, next to an outlet, or maybe if you are traveling, maybe you're on a train with an outlet, which is one of the biggest problems. But also that was the most biggest concern with the original Ally was battery life. That's what the community kept saying. The battery life sucks, because it does suck. From what I've seen other people, looking at, I saw one guy on Reddit or Facebook saying he couldn't even do 3 Call of Duty matches before the battery was at 20%. And I was like, wow. That's bad. That's seriously bad, on Call of Duty, not going to say what settings or whatever, but I was looking at 2.5 hours. So rather than
I don't know if you're allowed to
hour.
say that yet.
I don't know.
You've said it now.
I've said it. But, it all depends on the power settings and the graphics settings as well, doesn't it? But the Ally X is a noticeable jump up. I mean,
Well,
it's a 50% increase.
It's exactly what I was going to say. It's double capacity, isn't it?
Yeah.
From 40 to is it to 80
Yes,
watt hours
it's got
now?
an 80 watt. Yeah.
And there is a bump in the RAM as well, so you're going to be able to run it at a higher power level. You're going to get a little bit more from the RAM as well. So there is upgrades to it. They did something to the cooling as well, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. So because the battery's larger, they had to make the fans smaller, but they're actually 10% more air movement, and they actually also pull air through the back of the fans, so the fans aren't blocked off, they're like hollowed. So then the back of the screen gets cooler. So the screen is something like 8% cooler to the touch than previous as well, which was a concern for some people. And also, just to add, the battery, on top of the battery being double, it now supports 100-watt charging as well, so it's faster to charge.
And then those two USB 4
There's
ports
two USB
as well.
ports. Yeah. Well, one USB 4, one USB 3.2.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Only one USB 4.
Yeah. Yes.
Whatever. Try harder. I think in truth, the battery capacity aside, and I know that is a big thing, so it seems weird to discount it, but that aside, if you own the original ROG Ally, it's probably not worth it at this point to be selling that and buying this, and the step up in price as well. It's gone from 600 baseline to 800. Am I right in saying?
Yes, for UK. I don't know about America.
And when you consider most people that have maybe just bought Steam Deck OLED in the past 6-9 months, however long it's been out, they're going from a 400 average price point up to an 800.
Yeah, it's double the price basically.
For those average people, it's not worth it. But then it is an ASUS ROG product, so it's not
it's top end, isn't it? Yeah,
it's not for just average gamers, is it? This is the top end of PC gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the niche side where you want the best you can get essentially at this period in time. But to follow on what you're saying with like original OG owners, it's probably better to wait. And then wait for the version 2, the Ally 2, which I reckon will be 2 years away. You know, they might possibly do an OLED refresh next year. I somehow doubt it. I feel this was to iron out the concerns of the first one, the SD card reader that burns out, the poor battery life. Even the sticks are upgraded, so they're double the life expectancy and firmer sticks. The ergonomics have changed. This is literally the V1.5, and I think we're going to have 2 years now until we see the Ally 2. So for original owners, especially those money-conscious ones, you're probably better off waiting another couple of years, enjoy the device, and then go for the next one.
Yeah, and I guess that leads us on nicely to when it is worth it, and that is bearing in mind that it's an ASUS ROG product, so it's for the bleeding edge of gamers, it's for that high-end PC gaming. If you don't already own the first version, this is the definitive way to have the ASUS ROG Ally. It's probably the definitive way to play handheld games full stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you've got access to everything, so obviously the original does too, but if you don't have anything, we're talking about right now, if you've skipped everything and you don't know whether to get a Steam Deck or an original Ally or wait out for the X, this is why ASUS have made the X, is for that reason. So you want the original one, but you maybe skipped it because of some of those concerns. Well, now we've fixed those concerns, and here's the definitive version, your bigger battery and everything, and now you can play everything. And that was my concern with the Steam Deck. As much as I love it, and I still do, and I'm keeping that, my concern was, it really bugs me that I can't play multiplayer games with anti-cheat. I can't play any Epic games, even though I don't actually have any, but I can't play Game Pass was my main one. Yeah. But Game Pass was my main one, and it really bugged me. And I was like, I want that full experience, and I wanted to play more AAAs because on the Steam Deck it just struggles, So
it struggles.
This and then, of course, that answer.
You have the anti-cheat problem as well with the Steam Deck.
Absolutely,
because it's Linux based. You can't play Call of Duty, can't play Destiny 2, you can't play
anything like that.
Yes, anything's got anti-cheat baked into it. So if you're a Steam Deck owner, that takes me to the other group of people, and you're finding those things holding you back, the lack of grunt to be able to play AAA games, not being able to play these FPS games because of the anti-cheat stuff. If you're finding any of that frustrating and you can stretch to this, then 100% don't think about it, just do it, because it is the definitive way to play handheld games.
Yes.
You coined a really beautiful phrase about it, and it was This is the ultimate Game Pass machine.
It really is, though. It really is. And that's what I've been loving about this. The longer I know I've still got it on the desk. They're any minute now going to ask for it back. But the longer I wait for to use it, every day that goes by, I'm going through Game Pass because there's hundreds of games on there, and I'm just downloading anything just to see what it's like, And the more I play, the less issues I have that I expect. Like every game just runs and opens, and I tinker with the settings, but that's besides the point. There's no like workarounds to even load the game. You just hit it and it's up and running, and it's beautiful.
My concerns about Windows not being kind of handheld friendly were really quickly put to rest when I actually started to use our test version.
Yes,
Just like seeing what Armory crates actually like to use and how friendly it really is.
Yeah,
and it just genuinely it works. It's not perfect. The Windows side, if you back out,
yes,
that could be improved, but you're not there a lot of the time. You're mainly in Armory crate. You're mainly in the launchers. So for that reason, it really works.
Yeah.
The final point of like why I think it is worth it is it takes a kind of change of perspective slightly. And it's kind of how you're putting it into your kind of your setup. You're selling your laptop, your gaming laptop. I can't even remember what it is you've got.
I've got a Razer Blade.
Yeah. You're selling that and replacing it with this. So essentially, kind of treating it like a gaming laptop.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to get more use out of this because it is a specific handheld unit. Like, it is literally you turn it on. You don't have to go and, find a controller and, oh, look, I haven't paired it for weeks, so I'm going to have to go into Bluetooth and then try and search for it and then remember what the button configure is on the controller to enable Bluetooth pairing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all that rubbish. You just turn it on, and you're ready to go. And it's small. It's compact. I can chuck it in a bag and I love it. Like, I just love that. And this is what I never even dreamed that handheld gaming could become this good,
Oh, what a beautiful line.
Yeah, but it's true. And that's what's blown me away enough to actually buy one of these, even though I've got a Steam Deck OLED, because this does everything the Steam Deck can't. And, I'm going to keep the deck for all the indies and like all my old titles and emulation. And then I'm just going to treat the deck as a Game Pass machine, a multiplayer machine, and a AAA game machine. That's how I'm using it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with the final point of like treating it like a laptop is that at a push, well, firstly, if you think of it as like a gaming laptop, you're getting an incredible piece of hardware for actually console kind of price. So it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than you would have paid for your Razer Blade and the upgrades
the Razer
you did
Blade
to
was
that.
like $2,000, like it's ridiculous.
So you're getting actually a really good deal when you think about it like that. And you could at a push, and I know there are some people that do, you could dock it, you could use it for productivity, you can
with
run
the
any
Ally,
Windows stuff through it. The Ally X, that is,
Yeah. We're replacing Christina's gaming desktop with an Ally. We're going to do that.
So you're both going to have one?
Yes, but she's going to go for the original model.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, because she's now more console player than PC player. Yeah. So she's just like, I don't want like the bleeding edge. I'd rather save some money, and I'm just going to use the Ally docked like 90% of the time. So she's doing the opposite of me. Like I'm going to be using it handheld all the time. Yeah. She's going to dock the Ally 1, the V1, and have that docked like 90% of the time. Use it for her singing software and all that kind of stuff. So plug her mixer and all that through it. And then game at 1080p on it if she wants to. And then when she goes to work on the train, she can undock it and then continue playing natively Game Pass. Cool. Yeah.
It's like, this is going to alienate whoever's watching this now, but it's what we loved about the Switch when it came out.
Absolutely,
It's like it's both parts of portable and console gaming.
Yes, absolutely.
So to go back to the question right at the start, is the Ally X worth it? Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah, it's subjective.
Yes again.
And then yes again. Yeah, it all depends. If you've got the money, just go for it. If you don't, and you've already got one of the other ones, maybe not. If you don't have one of the other ones, then this is probably the time to jump in, It's
definitely a device I'd say is worth saving up for if you're thinking about it.
I think so. And if you can jump in like early, then you're going to have the longest time with it, because this is going to last you a few years, you know, of actually
Easily.
playing stuff like really well. But I definitely think 2 years time is when they're going to replace it with a stronger APU that's already out there, but no one's like done anything with it yet. I think
Yeah.
you're looking at 2 years until that's in it, and then you can just, you know, sell your original one, put that towards that, or just keep it, you know. And
It'll be fine. It'll be fine
Yeah.
for a good few years after that as well.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
I guess that wraps it up. Tell them
It
what
does.
to do, Andy.
Oh, what you need to do is like the video, even if you disliked it, give us a like, and then subscribe. And also,
Yes.
they should become members. And why should they become
Yes.
members?
Well, you get to watch these videos a little bit early if we remember to put them up. And also, you get access to our private Discord where you get to hang out with all the other members. It's my
Yes.
favourite place in gaming.
Yes,
It actually
yes,
is.
It is.
I love.
Yeah,
I do
our
love the
members.
Discord.
I do love the Discord. It's amazing.
So, thanks for watching.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, you don't know any
Yeah.
videos of yeah.
You didn't do the podcast ended, so it threw me off. Check out the podcast video up here.
Yeah,
and
do that.
check out, I don't know, another video down here.
Bye.